officially live. Sorry, we had some technical difficulties with our website, but everything is good now. And so today I'm going to talk to you guys in honor of National Bullying Prevention Month. I've been focusing on cyberbullying, and today we're going to talk about what to do when cyberbullying crosses legal lines. So when we cyberbully, again, it's only mean comments, and it really is just avoiding things like threats. So threats look like, go kill yourself, I'm going to show up at your house with a gun, I'm going to show up at your house and beat the crap out of you. Those kinds of things are threats. And that falls under the lines of cyberstalking and cyber harassment. That is a legal line where if you have people that are making those kinds of threats and allegations towards you, your job is to document those photos, take screenshots, and take those to the police, to schools and things, and say, hey, my child's life is being threatened. My child doesn't feel safe at school because of these things. 1 in 5 kids will actually stay home from school because of cyberbullying and tactics like this, because they do feel very threatened. So that is a type of cyberbullying where it crosses the line. Now, if they're just saying like, you're ugly, I don't like your stomach, you're such a terrible person, I can't believe that you would wear that, those kinds of things unfortunately are mean, but they don't cross legal lines. So one of the things that I do want to talk about is I have a list here of some things, and I'm going to put a legal disclaimer in here. I am not giving you legal advice other than to go and seek legal counsel for these things. If you have specific tech questions on how to stop these or how to document them appropriately, I'm going to give you some advice on that. But anything beyond that is for a lawyer, and you need to seek them. They're called cyber lawyers, or cyber law is where you need to make sure that the lawyer has a technical profession in. So here's a few examples of things that kids are doing to cyberbully. So the first is cyberstalking, where they're looking up your stuff and then showing up in person. So this is kind of beyond more of just like, I'm going to go see my friend that I haven't seen in 20, 30 years, what they're up to. This is like they're looking at different accounts. They're making fake accounts, which are called sockpuppets, to get you to say things and find you to be able to track your movements, find out where you live, things like that. So this is one of the reasons why I tell parents all the time, make sure that you have your location stuff disabled. Make sure that what you are posting is not searchable by Google through Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, those kinds of things, because Google does actually get stuff from those sites. So be aware of those types of things that you are doing to be able to protect your kids and to be able to do those types of things. Another form of cyberbullying that is very, 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 very very dangerous is called doxing. If you are familiar with Mindy McKnight, she's a very famous person. She wrote Viral Parenting, big YouTube mom. They had a stalker that actually looked up their address and found their home address and dumped it online. It's called doxing. Most of the places that this happens is through video games, forums, blog posts, things like that, where they'll just post an address linked to your name. So making sure that you have in your comments, as part of the new privacy things that have come out, especially with Instagram, which is the #1 bullying place where kids get bullied online, you can actually block things like your address, your school, your kids' names, things like that. You need to be making sure that you're doing that. And I will have videos going out next week that kind of talk a little bit about how to do those things and hacks and whatnot. But these are reasons why, because kids are posting this kind of information. And while it seems harmless and it may not be like ridiculous, you can actually have predators use this information to steal your child's identity, to be able to groom your child because they're vulnerable. They can clearly see that they're vulnerable, and that is how they can get them to do worse things, which fall under sextortion, which stopbullying.gov does actually tell parents that that is against the law, to seek legal counsel, things like that. And there's a lot that they can do to that. But once it's out there, it's out there. And I will mention this because law enforcement would like to tell you this, but they can't when they're interviewing you. If you are a parent and your child has sent anything that is pornographic in nature, where it is showing skin, you are not allowed to keep that on record. You cannot take a picture of it yourself and say you're keeping it for evidence. You become in possession of child pornography. So be aware of laws like that, because you can get into trouble yourself. If it's shared in a cloud account, you are now in possession of child pornography, and you can actually have jail time for that. So watch out for these types of things. These things that our kids are doing that we're not aware of cross lots of lines. And this is where cyberbullying, it's so important to understand. It spreads, such a huge thing. Another thing that is really, really popular is doing cyber mobs. And a lot of the kids, I was looking at some sites, they call it fire wars. So what will happen is some girl will make a comment on a post, and instead of just commenting back mean comments, and it's like a mean war between the two, she gets what she calls her posse, and everybody goes and they go after this person for being mean or not giving them a recipe or whatever, and start posting all kinds of mean things, mean comments, and things like that. Part of this is really, really terrible, and there are things that you can do to protect your kids from it, which I will be teaching you guys next week when we go over privacy and things. It will be on my YouTube channel. I'll post the videos in the website, or not the website, in the emails that go out. So at the bottom of this page is a place for you to sign up to join our newsletter. It's free. This information is important for parents to have because nowhere else is going to teach you this, and nowhere else is talking about these things because they just don't have the training and expertise that I do as a cybersecurity professional. So understand that it's really important to make sure that these things are here. And this is where, as parents, we can be proactive and we can talk to our kids about, do you know why privacy is important? And they're going to roll your eyes and say, it's important because you're worried about somebody stealing it. And you can say, no, I'm worried about a friend starting to stalk you. Or I'm worried about a friend trying to threaten you to expose your address to somebody else. Or I'm worried about this person threatening to post in your name so that you can't go to college. We call it takeovers. Something else to be really aware of with your kids is, I know this is extremely common for children, is they will log into accounts on friends' phones and think they log out, and it actually stores their login information on phones. You can set it to do that. And so what their friends can do is they can do, it's called an account takeover, and they can actually legally, very easily hack into the account and start posting things in your child's name. And then your child is responsible for those comments and those actions, even if they didn't make it. So teaching your kids to check into their devices and permanently going in, you can go in and remove yourself from those devices and make sure that you're logged out of every place except for the ones that you pick is extremely important. This is why kids shouldn't share their devices. I tell my teenagers that all the time. Don't share your devices. You never know what someone's going to do with your information. All it takes is one time where stupidity can become a crime. And that's where we're at, is we live in a day and an age where, because of cyberbullying, because of the internet, because of all of this amazing technology that keeps us connected, one mistake can ruin what you think is the rest of your life, but it really just ruins it for the next few years. So I hope this kind of gives you some more ideas and perspectives on things that you can do and really trying to dig into it. There are so many other things that can talk. Libel is one of the things that happens a lot with kids, is they'll do these takeovers and they publish something for a website or a meme or whatever, and parents don't know how to take that. So tune in the rest of this month. We're going to continue talking about some of the security measures that you can do, some of the things that you can do to stop this from happening and prevent it. What needs to be taken away from this is that documentation is always needed. Only document it when it does not cross legal lines. And second of all is get law enforcement involved and start creating a paper trail. Law enforcement can't do a lot of things without a paper trail. And the third thing is, if you think that you're at risk for something and you're not sure that it falls into the category of law enforcement helping you, all you have to do is find a lawyer in cyber law, and they can help you with these things, because a lot of these things are actually cases. I recently just read a case where a special needs child posted a picture on social media with them like homecoming senior 2019, something very, very, very generic. And kids copied that image and literally whited it out because it was on a sheet of paper, and they wrote some horrible things. And what the lawyers and attorneys were able to do is they were able to go and not only get the photo taken down, but they were able to get compensation and hire companies to wipe this photo off the internet because it went viral. And it was like some of the most obscene things that you could ever imagine. So these are the kinds of things that can happen to our kids, and they are happening to our kids. But there is things that we can do besides just, oh, block the bully. Like, that is the most retarded piece of advice I think that's ever been given. Don't just block the bully. Make sure you have stuff set up to protect yourself. Focus on learning about identity protection and really learning about what you should and shouldn't post online, being aware of how to kick people out of your account if you need to, or things like that. So if you have any more questions, please click the link below and go to the bottom of the page and make sure you check out our newsletter. I'm going to be giving out so much more information, and it's just so important. So thank you guys for being here, and we will see you next week.